All right, story time again. So this is a story about a place. This was the worst place in all of Iraq at this time. It was a city. It was called Sadr City, and it was named after the sheikh there, who was the guy that was in charge. And his name was, I think, Muhammad Al Sadr or something like that. But for you guys to understand this fucking city, right? No Americans were allowed to go in there. Okay, and I mean, they wouldn't allow us to go in there, and our leadership, all the way up to the fucking top, put out a statement saying no Americans are allowed to cross into the border of this city, right? So the city was laid out. I don't remember how big it was exactly. It was part of Baghdad, so it was like a subsection. And there was this one road that was called Route Maryland. And nobody was allowed to pass Route Maryland. So, like, once you got on Maryland, you were not allowed to turn and go into Sadr City. That was forbidden. Special forces weren't allowed to go in there by themselves. Nobody. We couldn't. It had to be a planned mission in order for people to go in there because it was so fucking bad. the Al Sadr was crazy. He was he was a fanatic, and he told his people, everybody in the city, if the Americans cross over into our city, fucking kill every single one of them. No ifs, ands, or buts. Fucking everybody is to leave their house and fucking kill them, right? So this was like, it was intense. So we used to, Sadr City fell right in our AO, our area of operation, like right along that border. So Route Maryland, that road, was the furthest point of our AO. So we would drive this road every single day along the edges of Sadr City. But we were never allowed to go in. And this is how fucking intense it was, right? So while driving Route Maryland every day, the parents would send their children, right, little kids, I'm talking like from 3 to probably 15 years old, to run out towards our Humvees and throw rocks at us, right? Mixed in with the rocks would be Molotov cocktails and shit like that, right? And these are kids, these are children, right? And the parents were such fanatics. As we drove by, we could see a fucking herd of children, like a flock of goats, sprinting at us and chucking. And some of them are Molotov cocktails, some of them are rocks. Either way, I mean, you get hit in the face with one of those fucking rocks, it hurts, right? But you can't just open fire into it. They were doing it on purpose, right? And the reason they were doing it is because if we open fire into a crowd of kids for throwing rocks, even if one of them is a Molotov cocktail, there's going to be 30 fucking dead kids in the news, and we are going to look like the worst people on earth, and it's going to draw other people to their cause. So this is how these parents were such fanatics. They were willing to risk their children's lives, sending them out there to get slaughtered by us just to make us look bad, to bring more people to their cause. So this place is fucking crazy. Right. We never end up shooting any of them. We did use non-lethal rounds several times, but this place, like I said, it was bad. One time, since some of my stories about the times I've almost died, we were leaving. We had been set up, and we were waiting there for a mission, and we were leaving. And right as we were leaving, they fired off an RPG, and the back of a Humvee, for those of you guys who don't know, it's slanted, right? So it's not like it's not a typical truck. It has that slant on the back. Well, this was a fucking RPG-7, and if you don't know what that is, it's not your typical RPG that impacts on the side of something and blows up, right? Instead, it has 2 warheads. The first one blows through the outside armor, so that the second one can continue through the armor and a secondary detonation will happen inside. So this this RPG-7, we were so lucky. It skipped off the back. That slant caused it to skip instead of impact, and it flew off in the air and blew up. And I was inside the back of that Humvee. You could see the skid mark from the black smoke as it had skipped and burned as it continued off. That would have fucking killed all of us. So now for the real story. We get a call that we're going to be going out at like 4:30 or some shit like that. There's an American who, I don't know why. I know why. He left the base, right? So he was actually an Iraqi American. He was an Iraqi who was in the American army. So he had lived in America his whole life or whatever. But he had family in Iraq, in fucking Sadr City. So this guy decided that he was going to sneak off base at nighttime to go see his family in Sadr City. Well, they fucking found out. They caught his ass. They fucking hacked his body up into a gazillion fucking pieces and laid him out in not a parking lot, but like in a little field inside of Sadr City and booby-trapped all of his fucking body parts. We didn't know that yet. We just knew this fucker was missing. So we get the call. Delta Force is fucking going in. They're going in hot. And we're expecting the whole entire city to fight. So you guys, the 126 Blue Spaders, that was us. You guys are going to be their backup. And we want you to bring fucking everything. So when I say everything, usually like in the city of Baghdad and stuff like that, like we had some tankers that were attached to us and stuff like that. We didn't use the tanks because you can't fire tank rounds in the city with buildings and stuff like that. They're just a mess. And even like our bigger Bradleys, they have a big gun on them. We would use those, but they made sure they wanted us to know we want everything. Bring the fucking tanks, bring the Bradleys, bring the fucking snipers. Everybody's going out on this fucking mission. We expect it to be an all-out fucking war. Okay, so I mean, we're hyped, dude. Like this, finally, we get to fucking fight these guys in Sadr City. So we go out. It's dark. Route Maryland. Like I said, this road that's lined up. We all pull onto Route Maryland and spread our vehicles out across this city line. It probably a mile or so along Route Maryland. We're lined up. So we've got, and we're all facing towards the city. So we've got fucking, Humvee, Bradley, tank, Humvee. Our snipers are in the buildings behind us. They've dismounted. And we're just sitting there and we're looking forward, all right? And I'm a dismount at right now. So I'm in the back seat of one of the Humvees. Me and my buddy were. So when shit pops off, it's our job to hop out and shoot or get into a building or fucking whatever like that. The guys in the vehicle will, they'll stay and fight. So we are all lined up. It's still dark. And we don't know what the fuck's going on. We're waiting for the call, right? We're just waiting for something to happen because the Delta Force guys are already inside Sadr City. So we're just waiting. And the road is lined up like this, Route Maryland. And then there's this other road that's coming straight out, right? So, and the Delta Force guys are going to exfil out of this road, okay? And they're going to pass all of us on this line at Route Maryland. Well, we get the call over the radio. The city has mobilized. They are pulling vehicles into the road and parking them. They're fucking lighting tires on fire. They're trying to block this road because they know Delta Force is in there and they don't want them to get out. They want to trap them in there. So we get the call. Delta's coming out hot. Like, be ready. Because Delta's fighting their way out of there. And it's dark and we're all antsy as fuck. It's dark. And I remember looking out over the city and like I said, it's dark. And I remember seeing these flashes, like flash. I was like, what the fuck is that, dude? And then all of a sudden the Humvee's just like boom, boom, and it just starts fucking shaking. And we realized they were mortars, man. This whole city has us fucking zeroed and they're lighting us up from everywhere. And there are mortars exploding all around us. So we're staying in the vehicle. We're like, fuck that. We're not getting outside. The Humvee's fucking shaking, dude. And like, as that's happening, Delta comes out hot, dude. I don't know if you guys have ever fucking seen Delta Force work. These guys are fucking badass, dude. So like, we've got Humvees with one gun on top, right? And then, like I said, the V-shaped back. You can't. It's not an open back. You could open it and put something in, like a trunk, but it's not an open back. Well, Delta Force has truck bed Humvees. These motherfuckers have miniguns on their fucking turret, and they've got dudes in the back of their trucks with 240s and 249s, heavy machine guns, and these fuckers come rolling out, I think in like 3 Humvees, just guns blazing, just lighting shit up. And they tell us, as soon as Delta crosses our line, shoot. Anybody who's fucking out there fighting, fucking shoot them. And so Delta comes across the line, and as soon as they fucking pass us, it is just a fucking glorious, thunderous fucking unleashing of firepower, dude. And everybody is fucking shooting. And the whole fucking city came out to play, dude. I can't tell you how many people, but this is a whole fucking city. I don't remember what the population was, but it was everybody. And they were not happy. They wanted to trap those Delta Force guys. So fucking the Bradleys are fucking firing. I remember our guys up top. I think it was my buddy Hodges is up top, and he's fucking ripping off with the 240. And we're sitting inside the Humvee. And I remember we have video of this. Somebody had a camera. I don't remember who, but they like set it up on the dash. And in the video of this, you can actually see the tracer rounds, which if you don't know what those are, they're red rounds. So they heat up when you fire them so that you can see where they go. So you can trace your shots. Well, they had them too. And you can see the fucking tracer rounds fucking hitting our vehicle and shit like that. And at one point, I'm trying to remember who the fuck was in the back with me. I think Golden was driving, so maybe it was Lopez. I'm not sure. But we were like, fuck this, dude. We want to fucking shoot too. So we hop out of the vehicle to shoot, and the Bradley is next to us. And we were so close to the gun. The Bradley's got a big gun. It's a 25 millimeter cannon. Okay, and so it's just. And I remember stepping out, and the concussion of that, like, almost made me fucking puke, dude. I was like, oh, fuck this, man. Like, we had to get back inside the vehicle. So we spent this entire firefight not doing a thing. We just sat in the vehicle, and we're like, this is fucking awesome. But it got so hot, we called in air support, and we got the Warthogs to show up, the A-10s. And I don't know if you know what those are, but they have, basically, somebody built a chain gun, right? I think it's a 30 millimeter. Somebody built this fucking incredible gun that this Warthog has, right? And it was such a beautiful gun, and it was so fucking badass. They basically built up an airplane around it because the gun was so fucking perfect, right? So this thing, what it does, when it fires, when a chain gun fires, it's not your typical machine gun. You know, a machine gun is brr, brr. This instead is just a constant brr, and it just rips off. And it was still dark, or at least dark enough that when these A-10s were flying over, I remember just sitting there watching this, and they would rip off. And they had tracer rounds too, and those things fire so fast that it looked like a continuous red laser or lightsaber that they would just fucking drag across the earth as they're just laying scunion, dude. And this was the coolest firefight I've ever been in my life, just because everything was happening. This fucking, like I said, the snipers were in the building up behind us. They were fucking ripping off. I didn't get to fucking shoot anything or anybody, but the Bradleys were ripping off. These A-10s were fucking ripping off. The Delta Force guys were cool as shit. And I don't know what the exact death toll was that day, but like I said, the whole city came out to play. I'm pretty sure we probably killed a few hundred of them or a couple hundred of them. It was the fucking coolest firefight of my entire life. It was just I was just in awe. American firepower, when it's coordinated like that, is something to fucking fear. Like, it was so awesome. A little tidbit on that. So there actually were a few people that didn't get to go out. They had to stay back on base and guard the base so that it doesn't get overrun while we're gone. And since we were working with the Delta Force guys, and we never had before, when in the military, if you do something good, you get a coin, right? And it's like literally a coin. It's a big coin. But usually it says something on there, fucking this company or whatever, and great job or fucking whatever bullshit. We were like, let's fuck with our buddies, dude. And we had a Bradley washer, which is just, it's a washer like you would see around the house, except it's fucking huge, like the size of a coin. It's like this big. So it's a washer. It's a coin with a hole in it, basically. And we got back. I don't remember who it was exactly, but we got back and we were like, fucking check these out, dude. We're like, we got fucking Delta Force coins. And we handed them to them. They're like, what the fuck, dude? The fucking one mission we don't get to go on, people get fucking Delta Force coins. And they were so pissed off. And the joke is like, Delta is the top of the top of the top of the top. They are high speed as fuck, and they are hush hush. Like, everything is classified. So because it had no writing on it whatsoever, it looked like the most top secret coin ever. And we were like, yeah, fucking Delta coins, dude. And they're like, fucking, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah, we were like, you fucking idiots. But anyway, that was it. That was Sadr City. It was fucking, that was the Wild West, man. That was a time during the war when shit was fucking crazy.